Next up is Goosebumps. I binged the last 5.5 episodes of this today so we could talk about it. This is a series that could have gone one of two ways, right? You could have gone a kiddie route, like you did with a entry-level horror with the comedic horror side of the original series. I saw some episodes of that. I was never really a Goosebumps fan. I might have read a book or two. I've seen a couple of the episodes, but I didn't grow up loving Goosebumps. This is all about a group of 5 high schoolers unleash supernatural forces upon their town. Now they must work together in order to save it. So basically the first 4 or 5 episodes of this show is basically about one of these 5 kids and what happens to them. So let's say one involves a mask, one involves a camera. Let me do a little bit of research here. One involves a camera. One involves
and then the worms.
Yeah. So the first episode was the camera, then the haunted mask, then the clock, then the worms, and then the scrapbook. Episode 6, we get Slappy, which is what everybody was wanting this show to be. It was basically about Slappy because everybody loves Slappy. However, I'm going to get this out of the way before I actually get into the full-on review. This thing was way too damn long. This did not need to be 10 episodes. This did not need to be 10 episodes. You could have wrapped this up, and with the ending of episode 8, you could have led that into a little tease for season 2.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes were unneeded, especially episode 9. Episode 9 was very unneeded and boring. I didn't enjoy the overall story of that one. The ending of the series was very lackluster based off of what happened in the entire series. So if you're going to be doing a show like this, I'm glad they went with a horror route instead of a horror comedy route, because for a Disney Plus show, right? I'm not expecting something this hardcore to be on there. I'm not expecting this graphic with blood and hauntings and possessions. I'm not expecting that in a Disney Plus show. Granted, they bought this from Sony. They did not make this show themselves. If they did, I might give this a little bit more praise. But since this is a Sony television show bought by Disney Plus, I gotta look at it in that way. Too long. The acting is very, very good. I enjoyed the first 5.5 episodes. Once we get to episode 7, that's where the real issue starts, because it starts to drag. Slappy comes in a little bit too late for my liking, and you don't do enough with Slappy in here for me. Slappy is a bit unnecessary. There are moments here and there where you could have had him inserted in there. Maybe a tease with a little Slappy tease, if you will. But I didn't love this series. I was loving it up to episode 5, and then I started to feel it a little bit, but also I took a 1-2 week break from it and decided to wait until the whole thing dropped. But once I got to episode 7, that's where things just started to go downhill, and I started to enjoy it less. But overall, for me to enjoy a show like this, I'm very surprised because I'm not a horror guy. I don't watch any of the horror shows. I probably should, and knowing this show, we might do some more shows. It just depends on the show, whether it's a weekly show, whether it's they drop all the episodes at once. We'll just have to see. But for me to enjoy this show, I'm going to give this a very solid 3.5 out of 5. This could have been out of 4 to 4.5 if you cut the 2 episodes, the last episodes out, gave more for Slappy to do. Instead, you give your lead franchise star named Slappy the reason you are getting this show, and the reason that everyone is watching this show is not because of Goosebumps. If you put the name Goosebumps on something, look what happened with the second film. And I like the second film. And I love the first one. this film, this series could have been a lot more, given more to do with Slappy and everything. But what do you think overall?
Well, as you know, I am a Goosebumps fan. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter's a Goosebumps fan. She tried watching the show and she couldn't get into it. Of course, now she's a huge Slappy fan, so she wanted to see Slappy throughout the whole series, and we didn't get that. So she never even got far into it. She didn't really catch on with it. For me, I liked it to a point. I think it was about the first 5 or 6 episodes or so. And then it did start to drag. And then when we got to episode, I guess it must have been 8, when they wrapped it, what felt like they wrapped it up to me, I thought, okay, where do we go from here? Because that feels like your season finale.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they got afraid that they wouldn't get a second season, so they just tried to throw more in than they should. But it started to lead into other the tone shifted, and it started to feel like we were watching season 2 when we're still on season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't feel fleshed out well enough. There wasn't enough to the episodes to make me, because it felt like there was storyline there, but because they threw it in the last 2 episodes, you couldn't get it fleshed out. You couldn't get to feel for the characters during the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get to the finale even. It felt so rushed, and it ended. And I think I even told you when we was watching, I said, how much, I got a feeling they're going to finish it all in one episode. And they do leave you on a cliffhanger, but I didn't even like the cliffhanger in season 10, because it just felt like if we do get a season 2, it's just rehashing what we already watched in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the characters making a dumb choice that she should know better not to make after she just kind of went through that already. So, it really hurt. I really got disappointed. I was really upset with it, because as big of a Goosebumps fan as I am, to be enjoying it and then it just take that turn, that tonal shift, it really disappointed me. I still would give it a 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know if I could watch a season 2. I mean, I really don't know if I would watch a season 2, because I don't want to sit and rewatch the same stuff I already just watched. When we could have gotten the last 2 episodes stretched out for an entire series, and it'd been a lot better. So but we'll see if they do get a season 2. We'll see what the previews look like, the trailers look like for it. But as of right now, I'm probably not going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.